Okay, so tell me about your role as a hurricane hunter, because there's a lot of different roles there on the plane.
Okay. Yeah. So I am a P3 flight engineer. Essentially, if you think about it as terms of science and safety of flight, I am fully maxed out on the safety of flight aspect of it. My roles and responsibility include normal operations of the aircraft along with emergency procedures. And if anything does happen, everyone kind of looks at me to try to figure out what are we going to do next, right? So what are the different systems that we could either shut down or restart, or what bypasses can we have for that malfunction? So I care solely on safety of flight for the aircraft and the.
Gotcha. Okay, so take me through that final flight that you were on, the one that kind of sparked some rumors too, and then the video was taken in. Can you tell me about that day and what you guys were doing that particular day?
Yeah, so we woke up like any other day, essentially. We got ready for the mission. We went to get some Texas barbecue because we're in Texas and we're from Florida, so we're always going to go get some barbecue as a crew.
Brisket, I assume.
Yeah, we had some brisket. It was great. So we ended up just getting ready for the day for that. We started pre-flight around 12 o'clock. Uh, Plane was ready to go by 2, got off deck, took off. Everything's normal, everything's fine. This flight was a little bit different, being that we had so many people on it. We normally don't carry 20 plus people on our plane. So that was a little abnormal. The good thing is we did have 2 navigators that were flying with us. So the reason why the video was recorded, I had one of the navigators in the jump seat, if you will. It was a circuit breaker panel seat that we have there. That's kind of like that's usually where the second FE will sit. Second flight engineer will sit there to kind of back up the first flight engineer while we're going through the storm. But William Weisinger was in the back. That's my other flight engineer. So he gave up his seat so Andrew Utama, Lieutenant Commander Andrew Utama, could actually fly or sit up there. So that was pretty cool. So me looking back, I was checking on him to see like, hey, you good? Because they're normally not up there. So it was a fun experience. I didn't realize he was going to be recording the whole time though.
Okay, so why so many people on the flight? Was there media on the flight?
I believe we did have media on this flight, just a local station, and then just a lot of scientists. We were dropping some UASs, some drones, so we had a lot of personnel for that because that's a big deal, dropping drones into the middle of a storm. So there was about 5 people for that.
How long have you been doing this?
So I've been flying with NOAA for 2 years now. This is my 3rd season with them, but I've been a flight engineer for about 11 years. So I joined the Navy back in 2011. Had a great experience, did my time, and decided to get out. And I got a phone call from a couple of pilots here at NOAA saying, "Come fly." So
What's the experience been like so far?
it's been absolutely amazing. This play, just this working environment is awesome to be a part of. You actually feel like you're part of a team. You care about your coworkers, which is strange. Coming from the Navy, it's like, all right. Some people call it trauma bonding, but it's great. But yeah, it's just a great group of people to work with. You have a great mission, and everyone actually cares about their work. And I was actually describing this the other day. We had one of our scientists on there that's one of our senior scientists, and actually like a lead scientist for hurricane research. And just seeing him go out there, this is like his billionth flight, and he's still taking pictures of the plane, still taking pictures of outside, and still has that same exact joy that I still have when I go out to the plane. I'm constantly taking pictures because you have so much pride in the work that you do here.
That's awesome. And I mean, gosh, people can't get enough of it. Every time you guys take videos and take pictures, like it's just such an interesting career that you have that the rest of the world is very intrigued by it. Okay, so let's talk about the video. Tell me what kind of you were going through at that point when the video was taken and what you were doing there in the cockpit.
Okay. So when we're going through the storm environment, since there is a lot going on, we try to divvy up the responsibilities of the flight station between the 3 of us. So David Keith on controls, and he's focusing on keeping the aircraft straight and level as much as possible, dealing with those side winds. Chris Wood, who's the co-pilot at that point, is backing him up, making sure he's on airspeed, on track, on altitude, and we're flying the right way. And then my job is to just maintain airspeed at 210 knots. So I'm somewhere in between 200 and 220. That's the range. So if I'm faster than 220, I pull back on the power levers, I'll announce that to David. David would then pull up the aircraft to nose it up to try to slow us down. If we're too slow and I have max power set and we're still not speeding up, then David will nose down the aircraft to help us increase speed. So we're trying to maintain that 210 at all times. It's a lot of work. As you can see in the video, we're constantly just fully going firewall to flight idle nonstop. And you can't hear it in the video, but we're all talking on internal communication systems, or ICS, the entire time.
Okay. How many times did you go through that eye wall during that mission?
We did 4 times, 4 passes. The video was the second pass, which was the one where we delayed in the eye wall to figure out what's going on.
Okay, so that sparked some rumors, which I kind of missed out on when this was happening online. But you say delayed in the eye wall, then all of a sudden on the internet, people are saying the hurricane hunters are stuck in the eye wall or stuck in the eye of Hurricane Helene. So is that normal to delay like that? Tell me what happened there.
So normally we're in and out of the eye just due to the eye size. Sometimes it's a smaller eye and we don't have the availability of being able to do circles in the eye. Helene had a massive eye. I think it was like 20 plus miles long. So we were able to actually do some circles in there. And it is common for us to circle in the eye itself. And the reason we do that is, one, to give the crew a break, because going through the eye wall or just going through the storm in general, you have condition 5 set, which means everyone's strapped in, everyone can't move from their seats. We're staying in place while we're going through the severe turbulence. So that could be anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour and a half to 2 hours that I've seen it. So we tend to circle up in the eye just to give people that break, go use the restroom, go get some food, snacks. So it's not uncommon for us to actually circle in the eye.
Interesting. What's that like when you're circling in the eye? Are you just like in awe of what you're looking at around you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's when everyone's coming up. Phones are out everywhere. GoPros are going. We're taking videos, pictures. It's something that no matter how nice the photo is, it's never going to give it true justice of how beautiful it is.
Yeah, and the photos are pretty impressive too. Okay, so you wrote when you posted that video that this was like top 3 of like the intense eye wall penetrations you've done in your career. So I'm curious what the other ones are and what it felt like to actually be in that situation.
Yeah. So my number one, hands down, was Hurricane Ian. Ian was actually in my first season as being a flight engineer for NOAA, so I didn't have anything to really reference it. The only way I was even able to realize that Ian was a strong storm or that turbulence was severe is when I look back at the more senior people and they were very white-faced ghosts, like shaking. And so I was like, oh, okay, so that was a good one, huh? And then
Is that
when
the
we
one
went,
where Nick Underwood took the video of like beds
that
falling out of the
is,
back? Yeah, okay.
yes, that's the Nick Underwood video one. Yes, that's definitely up there. Few people did not return to fly for NOAA after that. But needless to say, so that was definitely my top. And then this was right up there with Ian. I would say it's number 2, but just by barely a little bit, because they're so hard to really determine what they're like because they're so far apart from each other. But my other one that would be really severe was Hurricane Lee last year when it was a Cat 5 in the middle of the Atlantic. We were the first ones to go into it, and it was definitely a Cat 5 when we went into it. So.
Yeah, we always forget about Lee because we're all sitting here and it's not impacting us. Okay, so I'm curious. I know that research has been done about turbulence on the aircraft when it's flying through the hurricane, and how really the pilots, anybody in the cockpit, is like feeling the worst of the turbulence. Is that? Do you think that's true? Do you concur with that research?
Actually, no, I don't concur
Really?
with it.
Where do you
Yeah,
think the worst
so
spot is?
the worst spot on the plane, hands down, is the back of the plane. So if you're anywhere in the back, you're dealing with some severe turbulence. The middle of the plane is the nicest, and in the front, you get a lot of the bumps too. But by far, the back is the worst.
Gotcha. Purely selfish question, as somebody who has severe turbulence fear, I'm curious what it's like, emotionally in the front of the plane, in the cockpit, when you're going through this. Are you guys scared? Is this a scary situation? Is it a dangerous situation?
It's not really a dangerous situation, and the reason why I can say that is because we've trained countless amount of hours outside of the flight station for this exact scenario. So with our training, our crew resource management, our reliance on teamwork, it's really not as dangerous as people think, just because we have so much practice doing it.
Gotcha. I can hear it over and over again, but it's still, when you have a fear, you have a fear. Okay, so I want to go back to the video. I love the part where you kind of turn around and smile, and the look is kind of like, whoo, like that was
Yeah.
interesting. So were you glad like that was over? Is it like an adrenaline rush? What was the feeling when you kind of came through the eye wall at that point and turned around and had that smile?
So you're going through the eye wall, you're so focused, you're so task saturated with that one thing of just maintaining airspeed that you don't really get a lot of chance to show your emotions or say anything really crazy. There was some things said on ICS though that were good that they did not get recorded, but it was definitely one of those subreal feelings that you're going through. I look back to check on our nav, Lieutenant Commander Utama, and to like actually see how he's doing. But like that look, that is a genuine look of like, holy crap, like that was good. That was a good bump, or a good series at least, which is abnormal for me because I'm usually very straight faced in the flight station for situations like that. Because if I start panicking or I start showing fear, everyone starts freaking out.
Yeah.
So, as I said, as a flight engineer, I'm there for all the emergencies. So, when something goes wrong, if I start panicking, they start panicking. So, I'm usually very level-headed and mindful. But that was just a general reaction that I couldn't control. That was just like, dang, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, I could tell. Do you always wear the engineer hat?
I try to. So, I got that engineer hat when I was. I actually have it with me right now. But
You
yeah,
could have
that
worn it for the interview.
I can put it on if you want. I'll put it on.
Yay. Something tells me this is like your signature look.
It is. It's a few of us, but here's the train conductor hat.
Nice.
But yeah, so I got this hat when I got qualified as a flight engineer in the Navy back in 2013, and I try to wear it every single chance I get. Sometimes I wear a different hat because people ask me to wear it, so I'll wear the hat through the storm and I'll give it to them as a gift. So, but typically this is my go-to standard hat when I'm flying.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. You could wear a different one every storm, and then you could probably sell it on eBay. Like put the stats in there and sign it, sell it on eBay.
I wish. It's a good side hustle.
Okay, so I want to talk about the plane itself because these planes are not new; they're quite old. So tell me about kind of the history here of the NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft, and then I want to hear about the new Hurricane Hunter aircraft.
Okay. So we originally got the planes back in 1975. It took about a year of mods to get them up to hurricane status or ready to fly into hurricanes. So I think they flew their first storm in 76, 77 time frame. So they're pretty old aircraft in general, but they're so well maintained by our maintenance staff that they're like brand new. So it's actually quite comical because you get a lot of people that dealt with P3s in the Navy and overseas, and they'll come check out our facilities and our planes, and they're just blown away at how well maintained these aircraft are kept. Like, there's any grease on it, it's gone. They're spotless at all times, or at least try to be. After a storm, it's a little bit rough right now. If they'll show you the hangar, they're getting torn apart. I'm just getting ready for the next series that could be coming up. But they're great aircraft. They're just, as you said, they're old. We try our best to keep them up and running, but they're breaking.
What kind of damage do they sustain in hurricanes?
So a lot of it is from the rain itself, actually. The rain's traveling so fast that it's tearing through some of the metal parts of the prop blades. So they'll have to refile down the prop blades quite often. We try to put tape. It's this thick 3M tape on the leading edges, so all the leading edge surfaces, and that gets destroyed. And the reason why I put that tape there is because if the tape wasn't there, then our leading edges, the metal will be destroyed. So try to mitigate as much damage as possible. But a couple of spinners are getting replaced because of the damages that were sustained. And then just sometimes we overstress the aircraft. We try not to, but we'll have to do inspections. So a lot of people were asking, like, what kind of inspections do you do for these planes? Do you check the wings or the spars? And we're like, yeah, we check everything. This plane is constantly being inspected over and over again by multiple sets of eyes.
Yeah, it's got to be, it's like goes both directions, where it's comforting in the way that they've been doing the same thing for 50 years and they've stood the test of time. But then also, I can imagine as a member of the media, if I walked up to get on the plane and I saw tape, I'd probably be like, what's happening
It's
here?
thick tape. It looks good. It looks good. It's like more of a cushion tape.
One thing I do want to quickly ask you about, because some people may not understand, you guys name your 2 hurricane hunters, right? What are their names?
So we have 3 planes that have names right now. We have Kermit, Miss Piggy, and Gonzo as our G4. The way it came about was when we first got our original 2 aircraft. We had one that was really good and one that was constantly leaking or dirty, and they kept calling it the Pig. And the Pig eventually escalated to Miss Piggy, and they're like, well, if we have Miss Piggy, we might as well have Kermit. So we have Kermit and Miss Piggy, and then we reached out to Jim Henson, who's the creator of the Muppets. He loved the idea. He actually drew up the original artwork for it. So those are his original designs that are on the planes, and that's how they've been. And then the G4 had a weird radar nose looking feature on the plane. So they're like, that's a weird nose. That's Gonzo. So that's how they all came about with their names.
Funny, I never knew that full story. That's awesome. Cool. Okay, well, that's all I have. Dan, are you going to fly again, or were you deterred by this mission?
Oh, I'll be up in there.
There's plenty out there, I think, to fly in coming up here soon. So thank you for
Yeah,
all
we're
that you
prepping.
do. I won't take any more of your time. So I appreciate all the time you gave me. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you to everyone over there at NOAA. Please tell them we appreciate it.
Will do. Thank you for your support.